On BBC News, you were putting out a press statement a little earlier talking about the real betrayal by our Prime Minister. Tell us a little more about your thinking, why you think it is such a betrayal.
I think David Cameron has let us down very, very badly. It's not simply a matter of the written declarations which end up as treaties of one form or another. It's all about relationships. And what happened at the dinner last night in Brussels was that the 17 countries in the eurozone gathered amongst the 27 of the European Union and said, we need help. We need to give them, the financial markets, some confidence about the direction of the euro, that we are united in going forward. We need to make arrangements as quickly as possible, and we needed the help of everyone to do that. And David Cameron effectively said, I'm not prepared to help. I'm not prepared to lift a finger. In fact, he went worse than that. He kicked them in the teeth, and that will not be forgotten.
But why do you say that? You have heard his explanations about Britain's national interests, about the safeguards he was seeking. Isn't there merit in those arguments that despite everything that is being discussed by the eurozone, we're outside of the eurozone, and he needed to safeguard British interests here?
There was nothing, absolutely nothing, being negotiated last night which affects the City of London in terms of the financial transaction tax or other financial regulation. All of that is completely separate. David Cameron just put that up as a shibboleth to try and knock it down. But in practice, he knocked himself down. He dragged us down with him. What we now risk is a two-speed Europe in which we're very much relegated to the second division. That just leaves us as weak and isolated. Frankly, it is not the way in which to advance Britain's interests.
You seem extremely angry. I mean, you have to be back here in Brussels working on exactly those relationships. David Cameron, in his interview, was saying the core arrangements within the EU remain unchanged in terms of the single market, on trade, on investment. Again, is he not right about that? How
Yes.
difficult is it going to be for you working on those various relationships?
Well, he is right. The Lisbon Treaty remains in force. All the normal business of environmental legislation and transport legislation, all that sort of business, indeed the financial regulations that he's so concerned about, all of that will continue as per normal for the future. But the problem is just, it's quite clear that the European Union is going to evolve to deal with the eurozone crisis and beyond. And I don't think there'll be any trust or confidence in Britain to be part of the big picture. I mean, would you, if you were a member of the eurozone, if you were perhaps one of the smaller ones rather than France or Germany, after today's performance, would you put any trust in Britain as being a genuine colleague and collaborator? I wouldn't.
Just a quick word about your own party, because we've not heard the angry words that you're expressing from your own leader. He seemed to be signed up to it, even though it does emerge that he was told after the veto was used by David Cameron, not before. Have you got any concerns about that particular timings of how this actually worked out in those negotiations?
I think the Deputy Prime Minister is doing what the Deputy Prime Minister must do, which is to support the Prime Minister. There can't be a coalition government if that's not the case. And our first priority is to deal with the economic problems that our country faces. And let's remember that although we're concerned about the eurozone, our debt crisis means that our economic problems are every bit as bad as those being faced by our European partners. What Nick Clegg may be saying privately may differ very considerably from what he's saying publicly.